right. Well, before we get into it, Dan, I guess I've got another segment. And that segment is called Alco-Holes, so Dan and Jay's Comedy Hour, because here's what I've done today.
Oh, no.
I've got a delicious PBR with boba in it.
Oh, God, gross.
Schnorka boba, Dan.
A Snorka Boba.
All right, so you want to give people a little bit of the history behind this drink before I can do it?
It is a fantastical drink from a fantastical realm, a.k.a. the Of Dice and Dens podcast realm, where his character invented boba beer. I'm disappointed that the bubbles aren't making the boba float to the top, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I'm disappointed, but otherwise, this is an extant drink in that world.
Is there a cheese shop? No? What do we got?
There's no Pizookie players or cheese.
God damn it.
Boba?
Yeah, is there boba? Ooh, yum.
Maybe at the tavern.
Ooh, I was going to go there anyway.
Let's go get moonstones and then boba.
I thought I was hanging out in the jewelry store watching these two be weird. Yeah, I'm committed to what I said earlier. I will stick with it.
With the bowing and everything, the jewelry store is locked up right now because the person who does it is bowing. It's 15 minutes of dedication.
Jesus Christ.
That's boring.
Yep. Lame. Okay, fine. Then I'm going to the tavern to have a little schnork is what I call it. Yeah, and a boba.
Schnork?
A little schnork.
A Schnorka Boba.
Schnorka Boba.
I think. A Schnorka Boba.
Ooh, here's the thing. I got to start thinking about names. If I don't remember mine, Schnorka Boba's not bad. I put boba in my mead. Is that permissible?
That's exactly what it's
Does it float weird?
I mean,
the bubbles form on the little boba balls and they float to the top, and then the bubbles pop and they float back down to the bottom. It's like a lava.
That's awesome.
That's actually really badass.
I want some.
I will say I cooked these wrong earlier, meaning I didn't put them in a big enough pot of water, so some of them ended up so
Wait, you're
chunky.
supposed to cook boba?
Boba
I don't know how boba works.
Boba starts out as tapioca pearls. I don't understand what makes those that. Okay, I do not know how tapioca pearls are made exactly. Okay. But then they are basically freeze-dried, and then you boil them, simmer them, and then put them in cooling water. And eventually, by the end, they are these weird translucent, what look like frog eggs. That look like
they're like those things you put in like a flower pot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is actually very much what they look like before you cook them.
And how they behave. Mm-hmm. They're basically the same thing.
The idea, of course, of an ale with, honestly, if this were mead, maybe, this is better for a sweet drink because, let's be honest, boba is flavorless. Like, there are flavorless things. And people are like, tofu doesn't have any flavor. Tofu's got a little flavor. I would argue tapioca has zero.
And so that's why, like, my biggest issue with boba is the texture. Because there is no flavor for me to dislike.
Sure.
I just don't like the little balls in my face.
And I love the little balls in my face and my mouth. But the way I cooked them was slightly wrong, so some of them may get stuck and I may choke on a boba. Okay. But I want to...
Good to know.
So my expectation is this is not going to change the flavor, but it will definitely change the experience. Is
that a green straw?
This is a yellow straw, but is it keying out? It is keying out.
Yeah.
It's yellow, so it's green enough. It is on the yellow... The green spectrum.
Like it's translucent, right? So probably
exactly.
Depending on the lighting and the location, because it seems like it turns transparent in front of your shirt.
It hasn't changed the smell of the beer, obviously. Has not changed the consistency, I don't believe. But here we go. We're gonna give this
for boba. It's a little more boba-y.
I need to get an actual boba in there. What is happening? That has never happened in the history of boba drink.
Yeah, the look on your face tells me that it's an excellent experience that you truly enjoy.
Well, boba's not meant for fizzy drinks of any kind. And what it does is it keeps like the weirdest, most beery, smelly part, the hopsy smelling part, the part that I don't really care for in the beer. I care for the experience in my mouth, as it were. This is suspending. It tastes like you're drinking a bunch of beer head because it's probably what's it called when it goes onto the surface, like when it collects on the pits of something, like what makes the Mentos and Coke work. It tastes like it's just surrounding every boba as it comes up. And
so is this sort of like potatoes and soup?
Explain, please.
So if you have a soup that's too salty, you put potatoes in it, and the potatoes absorb all the salt. So if you have a beer that's too hoppy, put boba in there, let it absorb all the hop. I guess scoop them out, and then now you can drink an IPA.
That's a good question. You know, I hate to say it, but that might have to be an experiment because the beer tastes fine on its own. As you would think, it's a PBR. I mean, it is what it is. It's fine. But all this is doing is carrying up, like the bitter parts of beer that like that you forget are there when until you like if you're a kid and you try and you're like, ew, beer's gross. And then you get older, you're supposed to numb yourself to it so that you can numb yourself to the world.
Right.
It's just reminding me of how gross beer can be. It's not fun. It is a bad idea. I think it would be this way with any fizzy drink, but I think it's bringing up. Yeah, you don't want that little bite of fizz and before you chew into a bubble. It's if you like the bubble, like I do.
I feel like we should challenge Mike Karasi to do a beer soda boba drink.
I love beer and soda together. Like different kinds of beer and soda, not like club soda. Although I guess that could work with some beers. So it's 2:30 in the morning and I'm on call. I just got a call and I'm on standby. Blade, service swap. I'm not going to get into it. It's boring. I thought, why not drink what I love to drink? And I'm going to do that. And you can watch me and maybe we'll discover something cool. So what we have here is, this is Eyinger Alt Biersch Dunkel. It's a good word, Dunkel. I like Dunkel. This is deep and malty. It's a great food pairing. We're not going to do that. No. We're going to pair this with the great old American Coca-Cola. I think that I will drink this and it will keep me awake.
All right. I mean, he'd be down. He's a pretty open dude. And Mike seems like a guy who might like boba. He seems like he's like tried some shit. Wow. What do we normally do? 5. We do a rating of 5 on expectation and on grossness.
Yeah.
It's hard to call it experience wise. Yeah, it's real gross. It's gross. Not flavor wise, but experience wise, that's a solid 3.5 or 4. Expectation is a 2 because
it's not at all
I didn't think it was just going to bring up those weird parts of beer. I mean, I think if you wanted to rid someone of their love of alcohol, would be a start.
That's how you do it.
It's maybe it's a classic trick that we don't know about. Maybe this is how AA does it. I could be wrong.
They're just like, you can drink beer at AA, but it has to be boba beer.
It's the same as when you make a kid smoke a pack of cigarettes. Yeah. But instead, it's like if you laced your kid's cigarettes with arsenic before you made them, or PCP before you made them
something like that, just to really teach them.
So there we go. I've made a thing happen, and I don't know that I'm happy with it. I'm happy that it happened, but not that it happened to me. Yeah, there's beer stuck in the straw because some of these boba are too big. Yeah, there's a boba plug. I got to clear the boba plug so that I can birth the beer into my mouth.
Oh, gross.
Dan, you want to talk about the sketch that we're talking about today?
Yeah.